But so
It's very local. It's very
so we want to have a whole fleet of those bad boys. But anyway, so when it comes to like event planning though, I actually am curious, like, are you trying to find ways to improve maybe like, or figure out how to host a really good online experience for like an event? Like, are you guys doing that? Are you exploring that? Like, that's the one industry that I feel like it's got to be tough. Like, what are you guys doing?
I think the good news is that we do corporate and social. The corporate part, I think, is going to be really, slower coming back. But there is social, and the social, so far, they're all rescheduling.
Yeah.
So right now, my understanding is a lot of the venues are getting, adding virtual to the venue so that they can show it that way. And yes, our production team is doing the same thing so that if they don't have it, we can supply it.
It's interesting.
I saw a very cool thing for events the other day that I really like the idea, especially small town, like we have so many in South Jersey. They were closing off streets to traffic to enable restaurateurs to put tables outside and still have events. They do a once a year event or a twice a year event to allow tables outside for the restaurants so that they can do 2 to a table. They can be distant, but they still have a shot at surviving.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would be really fun to do.
It's interesting because on another webinar I was on, they were talking about that the venues, and they are ramping up for it. The venues with outdoor, they are going to be so hot.
Yes.
And, they need to get a message out. It's so funny because the other thing, to your point, is, people are afraid in some cases to put messages out because they're like, oh, no one wants to hear from me and all that. It's a perfect time. I actually got new business during this time. And what I said to you is, we get to people like you who are eager, like they're not sitting at home going, oh, I'm laid off and doing absolutely nothing. Instead, they're eager. I mean, a new lead right now, a prospect of new business is from heaven, and you need to be ready to take it. You need to be, listening to your messages in the office, reading emails. There are people that are out there buying. They're going to make some decisions now.
Right.
And to that point, being involved in any kind of networking, virtual networking, again, has been a blessing for me because it started out, we're just either having a toast or a wine or just comparing notes a little bit, to where people say, hey, can you give me a call? Because I really need to go over some things with you. And I think you're right. I think it's more a mindset of putting yourself out there, and again, that's not taking advantage of anything, but just being in touch.
That's okay.
That's the key.
And that's okay. Yeah.